All right, we are live. Welcome to another live stream with Square Compass Promotions. Do these live streams every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Today, our live stream is going to be talking about the Euclid space mission. Euclid is a very important name when it comes to Freemasonry and the world, father of geometry. We're going to talk more about what that means. But also just why I want to cover it. I've talked about the Euclid Space Mission on a few different occasions. I had some both written interviews on Medium as well as some podcast episodes about it, um, which I'm always excited to talk about. But today, like I said, we're going to talk about the or talk about the Euclid mission, but we will give it about 45 minutes to an hour before we start on that specific topic. Before that, let's just wait to see who joins us and what it is that they want to chat about. In the meantime, if you're just joining us, please don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know how you're doing, let me know what your plans are for the weekend, all that good stuff. We're just gonna give it a bit of time, see how we're doing, see who joins us. As always, this is our 1 p.m. live stream. We do these streams every Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Um, Today, we're going to be talking about the Euclid Space Mission as well as plenty of other topics as well. Usually, the first uh, half hour to hour in, we just kind of wait for people to join and what they want to talk about. So let's give it a bit of time, see who joins us, and go from there. Welcome. If you're just joining us, hit that like and subscribe button. This is the 1 p.m. Stream. We do these streams every Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, where we chat about Freemasonry. Today, we're going to talk about the Euclid space mission, which is something I've discussed both on podcasts as well as episodes of or written content on the YouTube channel, or sorry, on the Medium account, I should say, which has been, uh, I've loved doing both of those. And I think as Freemasons, to be a Freemason is to be a lifelong learner. We should care about many things, including but not limited to the um, uh, including but not limited to the liberal arts and sciences, including and limited to geometry. Obviously, the name Euclid is going to be a pretty important name when it comes to geometry. So why is it that there's a Euclid space mission, a satellite with the name Euclid? What is it trying to study? What are we learning? And what are some interesting things that have came up that we can discuss about the space mission? I just made some delicious blueberry muffins. That is awesome, Courtney. I hope that they taste great. I like blueberry. I like blueberries as a general rule. Blueberry muffins and otherwise. So I find blueberry and lemon desserts taste really good together. Or blueberry and lemon just taste good together. But I'm happy you're doing well. I hope you're going to have a great weekend. I am going to try my best on Saturday night at midnight uh, midnight Eastern Standard Time to do another movie watch along on my personal YouTube channel. I'm going to be traveling at that time, but if you are subscribed to my personal YouTube channel, you may be able to find it there. So I'll try to keep you guys informed as to what I'm up to and what's going on. Hi, Cameron. Couldn't imagine being stuck in space for 9 months. Yeah, I mean, good for them for making it back, and congratulations to everybody who was involved in bringing them back. That can't have been easy to do. I'm sure if nothing else, they had a lot of plans that they missed out on. So it's good to have them back home, though, and I hope that, as you said, I hope that they are doing well. Um, I'm sure because I mean, if you're without gravity for what 9 months, I'm assuming there's going to be muscle issues and atrophy and all that stuff. So credit where credit is due to getting them back home, and credit to them, and also just in general, in terms of traveling, like the risks that you take to be an astronaut. I can only imagine how challenging it is to be an astronaut, and the training you have to go through, and the risks you put yourself through, and your family has to see you take those risks. But what it can mean for a lot of science and technology advancements come because of astronauts and space travel. So thank you to all of them. Interesting enough, I did my poll question yesterday. Do you eat Masonic refreshment before or after lodge meetings? After on Twitter, after got looks like 5 votes, before got 2 votes. Um, that was on Twitter. Is a little bit different on YouTube, so interesting to see. Just gonna give it a bit of time. Like I said, I usually wait till the first 45 minutes or so before I start talking about the particular topics. Today being talking about the Euclid space mission, because there was an interesting release of information on or interesting release news story about it that came out March 19th. So good for you, Dad, for making that donation as well, for overseas children, being good and example of being Masonic, because charity means a lot of different things in charity can mean not just donating money, but charity can also mean donating your time. It doesn't even have to mean charity in terms of donating to other Masonic causes, though certainly it can. It can also mean donating to causes such as hungry children overseas. So welcome if you're just joining us. Please take a moment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's give it a bit of time, see who else joins us. And today we are here to talk about 45-minute in or so. We'll start our actual topic, and today's topic will be the Euclid space mission. But in the meantime, we give it a chance for people to find us, to jump on, to say hello. Also on Fridays, usually I tend to do more of a general discussion, if you will. So kind of anything you want to talk about, anything that pops up that you're interested in when it comes to Freemasonry, feel free to jump in the chat and let me know what they are, and I'll do my best to try to answer them. Whether you are positive about Freemasonry, negative about Freemasonry, or neutral about Freemasonry, either way, let me know, and I'd love to know kind of what your thoughts are. I wonder what it's like living together in such a small space. Who decided what to have for supper? I assume we're talking about those astronauts. My assumption is going to be they traded back and forth a lot in terms of who decides who eats what for supper. That is going to be my assumption, anyways. But when you get home, supper is your choice. Awesome. I look forward to trying a few different, well, we'll see. I mean, I get back Saturday, so I'm flying back home tomorrow. So Saturday night, it'll be too late for supper. Just have some snacks, just some random snacks. Doesn't have to be much. But then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we'll figure it out. I mean, we can order some stuff in sometimes. Who knows? We'll figure it out. There's never any need to worry too much about it. And then Tuesday, we're having dinner at the lodge for the first degree after we get our occupational therapist tattoos, which will be pretty awesome as well. So that'll be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. The last one I had was great, and I'm very happy to take advantage of another one. So, plus, it's just gonna be fun visiting Transcona once again. So I hope everybody is doing well, though. Please, as always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know how you're doing, what it is you want to talk about. Give it a bit of time to see who joins us, and then we'll switch up and start talking about today's topic, which is the Euclid space mission. I saw a really interesting YouTube thumbnail. I haven't watched the whole article, or I haven't watched the whole episode yet. But it was from Masonic Roundtable, which is a great group of guys. They were talking about and asking the question, is Freemasonry on life support? Which honestly, probably, if you look at the numbers. Which is kind of in and of itself kind of scary, but it's a whole separate can of tuna in terms of what does life support mean. I think we have to kind of examine that a little bit more. Although maybe, Dad, you should pick some of what you want for supper too. Just giving it a bit of time. Like I said, usually the first 30 minutes to an hour, I just kind of hang out, wait for people to join, jump in the chat, ask any questions they have about Freemasonry. Then at the 45-minute to an hour mark, we start talking about our particular discussions. Today, our topic today, it's going to be about the Euclid space mission. because there was an interesting release on of information and pictures from the Euclid space mission, which came out on March 19th. So that might be kind of cool to check out. Protest tomorrow at, oh, good afternoon, Michael. Thank you so much for being here. By the way, Michael, do me a favor, because I couldn't find it. I don't know why. Shoot me off a message. You can do it by email if you'd like, or on Messenger. Shoot me off a message, though, Michael, with your mailing address so I can mail you that that card as a thank you for being a patron. Actually, let me see if I can show people that. Hold on just one sec. If I still have the postcard. And I made it back. This here, one of these super awesome commemorative postcards. I'm going to mail this to the people who signed up for my Patreon last month. So by all means, Michael, when you get the chance, no rush. I know you said you're on your way to a local elementary school for Bikes for Books program, which is awesome, Michael. That is very cool. Congratulations. For doing that. Another example of Masonic charity, but just shoot a Facebook message just with the best mailing address. It can even be addressed to your lodge, which honestly, I think I do have the mailing address for your lodge, but wherever you want to receive it, I will make sure to get that mailed to you. Not only Freemasonry, but other organizations can feel as though there's rough seas ahead. You're not wrong. I think the world feels as though there's rough seas ahead. They've been talking about this since Bowling Alone came out in the 90s. Nicholas Romita is here. Welcome, Nicholas. Protest tomorrow. Well, I hope you enjoy it. I will be on a bus traveling back to Winnipeg. Although, interestingly enough, just for fun, on my Twitter, I did a poll question saying, "Are you a nasty Canadian? Yes, no, hell yes." And actually, the hell yeses took the lead, I think. So, because I guess Trump called us nasty Canada or something to that effect. So I'm assuming that's what the protest is about. I'll be back in Winnipeg, though. Well, I'll be on a bus traveling to Toronto and then flying back to Winnipeg. Tomorrow night, though, there is a magic show taking place at the Windsor Masonic Temple, 2:00 p.m. and 7:00 p.m. with Bill Nouveau. So if you can make it out to that, it's going to be an awesome show. And I would encourage everybody to try to check it out. Is Freemasonry on life support? No, but soon will be. One vote, no, and it won't be one vote. So one person looking positive, one person not so much. Address sent messenger. Thank you so much, Michael Moore. Truly appreciate it. I'm going to try to mail those out today because I want to get them mailed out before I travel back to Canada. Back to Winnipeg. Excuse me. I'm already in Canada. Back to Winnipeg. Michael Rondo's here. Michael, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to hit that poll question. And once again, to everybody watching this, if you want to join our Patreon at a paid level, so even at as little as $3 a month, you can join $3 a month, and then I will be sending you one of these commemorative postcards as a thank you for sending us your information. It would be very much appreciated. Like I said, as low as $3 a month. Or you can join the Patreon for free. You don't have to pay anything to become a patron member for free. And you just get access to certain interesting topics, conversations, correspondence, messages, all that good stuff. And if you join at the higher level, $50 a month, you get a very cool and a very awesome scale model Windsor Masonic Temple. So I hope everybody, though, is doing well. We're going to give it a bit more time, another at least 25 minutes. Give it until 45 minutes in or so, and then we'll start on today's topic, which is the Euclid space mission. Michael Rondo, I heard so much about Freemasonry and read, but never fully understood it. So I'm trying to learn from you what it is instead of listening to what they say on some different channels from time to time. Awesome. Well, I'm glad. I hope that I can help, and I have been able to help explain what Freemasonry is for you or to you. I know it's tough because there's a lot of different people talking about Freemasonry. Sometimes they're lying about what Freemasonry is. Sometimes they aren't lying, but are just mistaken. And sometimes they're telling the truth, right? It kind of just, it's really hard because you don't know, especially if you're not a Freemason, what's true and what's not. That's why I always am kind of super hesitant, even with me. I always try to take everything that's said with somewhat of a grain of salt. And ultimately, to kind of truly understand it, a big part of that is joining it, or getting to know Masons, not even joining, but just getting to know the Masons in your local community. Going to talk to a lodge is usually the best way. For humanity to be able to access more than one planet, I personally feel it's a good thing and gives some real insight into on this particular mission and what the health issues were for them. So it's a different. So Euclid isn't the space mission that had the people stranded. Euclid is a satellite. The mission that had the people stranded, I think they were on the International Space Station. Euclid is a different mission. Having said that, to Michael Rondo, I truly agree. I think humans. I think the future is better if humanity is multiplanetary. I just don't see how. I just don't see how a future where humans exist on more than one planet will be worse. And I think we should try for that thing. I think there's nothing wrong with that as a goal. And I mean, multiplanetary doesn't mean the entire universe or whatever. Universe is pretty big, but being on Mars, being on the moon, I think both of those are possible. So I think that is kind of worth exploring. And I think I do hope one day we find ourselves on many planets, and hopefully one day we have Masonic lodges on multiple planets. I, for example, am a member of a Masonic lodge now that meets on the moon, or will one day meet on the moon. So take that, conspiracy theorists. You can have your fun talking about that. In case anybody's curious, it is Tranquility Lodge 2000 out of Texas. I just found out today my acceptance letter or welcome letter and dues card is in the mail. So that is going to be pretty cool. Congratulations, Cameron. Harry Bacharach, LOL. Does it come with a decoder ring? I wish it came with a decoder ring, Harry Bacharach. That would be wonderful. But no, it does not. I just get a welcome letter and a card. Bong, I am having a great day. Thank you so much for being here. It is wonderful to have you join. As always, Congratulations. Thank you. Yeah. So now, Courtney, I'm a member of a Texas Masonic Lodge, not just a visitor there. So that's pretty special. Um, but I hope, Bong, you are doing well. Harry, hope you're doing well. Also, I hope that you are both looking forward to your weekend. It's a beautiful day here in Windsor, and I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful weekend. Is Freemasonry on life support? Interesting. We got 2 votes for no, but soon will be. 2 votes for no, and it won't be. 1 vote for no. So interesting. No votes for yes. It is on life support right now, but 2 votes for no, but soon it will be. So at least a couple people have potentially the same concerns that I have, or the same concerns that were discussed on some of the different podcasts I've been seeing recently. Space exploration is no different than years ago, people exploring the high seas. I agree. I mean, it's human nature, right? Human nature is a desire to explore. I think that's one of the best parts about what it is to be human is the idea to explore beyond where we are, even if that exploration is dangerous. The famous Captain Kirk, um, risk is our business, um, from Star Trek. And yeah, unfortunately, part of that is dangerous. People get hurt. Thank God those astronauts made it home safely. Um, but yeah, risk is part of what it is to be an explorer. Though hopefully you find a way to keep it, you minimize the risks as much as possible. You know why we don't make going back to the moon a thing, right? Because there's nothing there worth going back for. Unfortunately, outside of exploration and challenge and risk and reward. Unfortunately, though, I think one of the biggest problems we have in 2025 is this idea that any type of research or exploration needs to have immediate practical benefits. And if it doesn't, or if you can't explain them, it's hard to get funding for it, even though oftentimes, at least in my experience, X-rays, for example, what you discover is, how do I put this? What you end up discovering is you do the research and then you discover the practical benefits later, as opposed to the other way around. The moon's surface contains micro. It does, but that's not to say it's impossible to make it work. Again, it just would cost a lot of money, but it might be worth trying it, You never know what we might discover without planning on it. I think the famous quote about the electron was, when they discovered the electron, they said, here's the electron, the most useless particle ever, something to that effect. And obviously, we discovered that that was not the case at all, that actually the electron has proven to be quite useful. So, for whatever it's worth. Exploration has brought us computers, medications, cure. Well, basically, the risk doesn't outweigh the reward. The reward that we can see right now, that's the key, right? We don't necessarily always know what the reward might be in future. And I think that's an important thing to keep in mind. Sometimes it's important to explore on the off chance there could be a reward that we maybe aren't aware of. I mean, because I don't know how much it would actually cost in 2025 to build a machine, to build a ship that could make it to the moon. I feel like probably not that expensive, relatively speaking, right? Like, Because what we were able to do it in the 60s, but obviously that was something brand new we hadn't done before, so it's going to be way more expensive. How much it's going to cost in 20 2025, I think is up for debate, but I think we can still do it. I don't know. I think it's worth trying. As Dad said, right? Exploration brought us computers, medications. I don't know if we've managed to find medications to medications for cancer research, medications for all sorts of things. So exploration is important. Can't escape the firmament. Well, we probably can. I mean, I think how far we can get is all going to depend on the type of technology we have and warp speed, all that type of jazz. But that's a whole other can of tuna. Is Freemasonry on life support? No, one vote. No, but soon will be two votes. No, and it won't be three votes. So no, and it won't be is in the lead at the moment. Three votes. So nice to see at the very least, the more positive attitude towards Freemasonry. I still have some questions myself and some concerns. I don't know, Michael Moore, if you have any thoughts as to whether or not Freemasonry is on life support. It will be on life support, but let me know what your thoughts are. I'd be very curious to know. Indigo Kid, my pops PMO to one of your streams months ago talking about, like, I forget the word for it, something to do with geometry and human body was good info. Are you a Mason though? Indigo Kid, I am a Mason. I've been a Mason since 2007. I'm a member of, I guess, as of right now, Indigo Kid, I'm a member of like 5 lodges, 3 here in my hometown, and then I became an affiliate member of one lodge in Windsor. One lodge in Israel, and I understand I'm going to be a member of one lodge in Texas, affiliation wise. So I'm very happy to be part of both. Welcome back, Indigo Kid. I think I vaguely remember your name, but it's good to have you back. If you could take a moment and hit the like button and hit the subscribe button if you're not done so yet, I would very, very much appreciate it. But I hope that you are doing well. And yeah, thank you so much for joining. How long will astronaut footprints remain on the moon? I think forever, right? Or not forever, but forever is a long time. Astronaut footprints on the moon. Astronaut footprints on the moon, along with other artifacts, are expected to remain for millions of years due to the lack of wind and water erosion, although they will eventually be worn down by micrometeorite impact. So millions of years. Nice to think that something will last for millions of years. And to Indigo Kid, once again, thank you for being here. And I'm very happy that your YouTube popped you over to this stream. We're going to give it a bit more time. Like I say, usually between 30 minutes and an hour. For the first 30 minutes to an hour, I just kind of hang out and chat and talk about whatever it is, wait for people to potentially find us and join our discussion. And then we switch over to whatever topic it is. Today's topic is going to be about the Euclid space mission, which does connect to geometry, or what um, Indigo Kid even mentioned, right? Something to do with geometry in the human body. So we are already talking about geometry, Euclid being the father of geometry, and why that's so important and what that means. So thank you so much for being here. And Indigo Kid, let me know if you're a Mason or if you're not a Mason. Um, any questions you have. Same thing with Michael Rondo. And don't forget, everybody, if you are just tuning in, you can also find us on Patreon, patreon.com/square and compass. Oh, interesting. Is Freemasonry life support? We have our first yes vote. So it looks like we've got 3 no and it won't be, 2 no but soon will be, 1 no and 1 yes. So looks like is in general a certain level of concern about the state of Freemasonry, which I think is perfectly fair. But I want to give it a little bit more time, maybe another 10 minutes or so before we go any further. Wait to see who else joins us and then switch over and start talking about today's topic, which is going to be the Euclid space mission. Yes, I saw my uncle is a Mason. Is there like good and bad ones? He kind of left a bad taste in my mouth about Masonry, and I kind of understand some of the history, just trying to learn more about it. Well, so when you say is there like good and bad ones, I mean, at the end of the day, Freemasons are people, right? We're human beings, so there are good and bad people, so there are good and bad Masons. Just like there are good and bad football players, good and bad mechanics. Sometimes how you define good or bad is a personal, subjective thing. I mean, I like to think of myself as a good person and a good Mason, though I know plenty of people don't like me and might consider me to be a bad Mason or a bad person. There are other people who I'm sure view themselves as being good, and I view them as being bad. I mean, human nature is human nature, right? So, in terms of why your uncle left a bad taste in your mouth about Freemasonry, maybe it's just the type of person that he was, and that's unfortunate. And we don't always get along with our family members, which is also unfortunate. What I mean is bad as in evil. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've never met any Freemasons I would define as like evil. I've met some I didn't like for any number of reasons. But evil, that implies, running around hurting people or with some type of malicious intent. I've never met any Masons who do that. Though I think evil is rare in the world, to be perfectly honest. And I'm sure if you go through history, you'll find Masons who've done terrible things, just like you'll find football players who are doing terrible things, right? Here's what I will say. If and this is my opinion, take it for what it's worth, for good or bad. If you, in my opinion, if you live your life, if you're a Mason and you live your life in accordance with Masonic principles, or as much as you can, you live your life in accordance with Masonic principles, then you are not going to engage in evil actions. Right now, that's not to say that again, there are plenty of people join Freemasonry and don't live their life going to Masonic principles for whatever reason. Say a lot of people, there's only so much you can do. But in my opinion, if you follow your Masonic principles and Masonic teachings, or Masonic ideals as much as you can, understand it based on the ritual. And this applies for every jurisdiction I've been to. I've been lucky enough to visit many different Masonic jurisdictions. Then you're not going to live life in an evil way or commit evil acts. So yeah, but at the end of the day, Freemasons are people, and it's unfortunate that your uncle left that bad taste in your mouth. But again, it could be just simply a matter of, unfortunately, just sometimes people, even family members, have challenges with each other and getting along with each other. There are many Masons that I've met and left a bad taste in my mouth. So it kind of is what it is. An unfortunate nature of human beings is no matter how hard we try, no matter how hard any group tries, there's a certain quality of people that's, we can't control people's behavior. If we could, I wish we could, then maybe we could make everybody act appropriately or good or be good. But I've never met a Freemason I would define as evil, if that makes any sense. I hope that helps answer your question, Indigo Kid. I kind of understand some of the history, just trying to learn more about it. Well, then I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you are getting the chance to learn more about it. If you have any other questions, though, by all means, jump in the chat. Let me know what they are. I would love to know. Just making a quick note here of something. All right. Welcome. If you're just joining us, by the way, please take a moment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know how you're doing and what it is you want to chat about. Bucharest Red. Hey, it's been a while, Bucharest Red. Thank you so much for being back here. Truly appreciate it. I feel like it's been a little while since I got the chance to talk to you. What is going on? What is the question? I will do my best to answer it. Can't make any promises, but I'll see what I can do. Again, speaking and answering it as myself and not representing any other Masonic group. Freemasonry is often associated with secrecy and symbolism. What's one common misconception people have about your practices? My answer to that, so there's a two parts. There's the latter part, which is the question, which I'll answer first. And then there's the first part, which is the statement. Freemasonry is often associated with secrecy and symbolism, which I will address second. So the latter part first, what's one common misconception people have about your practices? That there is uniform practices around the world, which feeds into the conspiracy side of things, because it's easy for people to believe that there's some type of Masonic conspiracy, or that there's kind of a Masonic world order if they believe that throughout the world, Freemasonry is practiced the exact same way, that you have one Masonic power telling people what Freemasonry is. So one of the common misconceptions people have about the practices is that they are the same worldwide, as opposed to what Freemasonry actually is, which is a series of different groups, all kind of evolved from the same place, the Stone Masonic guilds of the 14th and 15th century, but with their own unique practices and their own unique rules and regulations. So the way Freemasonry is practiced in Texas and the rules that govern Texas Freemasonry is different than what's practiced in Alabama, is different than what's practiced in Louisiana, is different than what's practiced in England, is different than what's practiced in Ontario. Recognition is how we determine whether or not those practices, whether or not I can visit a lodge and whether I'll recognize them as Masonic. But even recognition is ultimately decided at the individual jurisdictional basis. So, common misconception with people about our practices, that the common misconception is that there is a standard set of practices for Freemasonry around the world. The other thing, and that's a common misconception amongst Masons as well. A lot of newer Masons, especially, join and believe that Freemasonry exists as a single unit or a single body, as opposed to, they don't understand that when they join in Ontario, their Grand Lodge is the Grand Lodge of Ontario. Grand Lodge of Canada, Province of Ontario, and not a global Grand Lodge. So that's something to keep in mind. The other thing is the idea of it being secretive. The example I always give, and Indigo, I see your question. Don't worry, I'll answer that for you in just 1 second. Your statement about America, Bucharest Red. Though the other thing I'll mention, Freemasonry is often associated with secrecy. The way I describe it is, and I've talked about this before, let's say your grandfather gave your dad a ring, and your dad gives the ring to you. Are you going to give that ring to everybody? Or are you going to give that ring to somebody you care about, or potentially your own son or child or daughter? Right. And the reason you keep the ring within the family and don't just share with everybody or anybody is because it's a way to connect you with your family history as well as the future of your family. Freemasonry, yes, we have rings, I guess, and things of that, but really what we have that's important, that matters, that we pass down is our ritual. And by keeping it private, not telling non-Masons the ritual, it's a way to maintain the connections between the past and future of the craft. If everybody can learn what the ritual is without needing to join or be part of Freemasonry, then it makes it less valuable and it cheapens or dilutes those connections. Another example would be a family recipe. If your great grandmother or great grandfather had a family recipe, they pass it on to, the grandparents, to the parents, to you, to your kids. You don't share that recipe with everybody. And it's not because there's some secret nefarious thing to the recipe. It's because you want to maintain the connection amongst your family. And again, Freemasons don't pass down recipes unless you're a junior warden, have a chili recipe, but you pass on your ritual. So that's why the secrecy or the privacy matters so much. Bucharest Red, I hope that answered both of your questions. Let me know if it did. Indigo Kid, did Masonry start in America? No. Masonry didn't. So Masonry, stone masonry, building things out of stone, I mean, that started millions of years ago. Freemasonry, operative masonry, it started in Scotland. Depending, I give the date at 1623 as to when it started in Scotland, and then it officially started 1717 with the formation of the Grand Lodge of England in London, England. So it started overseas. Our use of symbolism is meant to convey moral lessons. Okay, yeah, it's a good answer as well. So absolutely. Interesting enough answers. Is Freemasonry on life support? 8 votes. Looks like 1 vote for yes, 2 votes for no, 2 votes for no, but soon will be, and 2 votes for no, and it won't be. So interesting to see somewhat more of a positive or optimistic approach on the state of Freemasonry right now than potentially others I have seen, including maybe more optimistic than I have myself. So, but I hope everybody is doing well. Please hit that like and subscription button if you can. I would truly appreciate it. Let me know how you're doing. This is our Friday live stream. We're eventually going to start talking about the Euclid space mission and why I think that's important for Freemasonry. But before that, I'm happy to see our good friend Spirit joining us, not on life support at all. Awesome. Glad to hear it, Spirit. Glad to see the positive and optimistic approach. Optimism, honestly, optimism, in some cases, it might be better to be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right. But By the way, anybody who's just joining us, if you haven't done so yet, if you joined our Patreon at a paid membership level, so even $3 a month in the last month or so, make sure you send me your email address, or not, sorry, email address. Make sure you send me your a physical address, because I have a postcard, a special commemorative postcard to send to you. It's a very cool little Masonic keepsake, just $3 a month. And that's for everybody who joined in the last couple of weeks. If you joined months or years ago and you're still paying, you should have received your correspondence already, as well as regular correspondence at Christmas or the holiday season, et cetera, et cetera. Unique factors as well. So I hope that you are doing well. Everybody who's joined us, thank you so much for being here. Let's give it another 10 minutes, and then we are going to switch over and start talking about the Euclid space mission. Why I think it's important for Freemasons to learn about, why I think Freemasons in general should care about science, technology, because to me, to be a Freemason is to be a lifelong learner. And welcome everybody. If you are just joining us, as always, hit like, hit subscribe, jump in the chat, say hello, let me know how you're doing. And yeah, Bucharest Red, as always, thank you for being here. It has been a while, it feels like, so it's good to have you back. I seen a book by Dr. R. Swinburne that said it started in America, ancient Egypt. I don't know who Dr. R. Swinburne is. I have Reuben Swinburne Clymer? Ancient mystic Oriental Masonry, its teaching, rules, laws. Reuben was an American occultist and modern Rosicrucian Supreme Grand Master of the FRC. I don't know much. I'll have to look more into him. I don't know much about him. Looks like he was around in 1878. When he says started in America, ancient Egypt, I mean, I've heard the conspiracy theories that Freemasons, that ancient Egypt actually didn't exist, like the pyramids and stuff didn't exist, but rather the Freemasons put those pyramids there in like the early 18th century, which is just not the case. That is a conspiracy theory. I don't know how or why it started, but that's a whole other can of tuna. But it's incorrect as well. I'm proud to say that the ancient Egypts did that stuff all on their own, at least in my humble opinion, did it all on their own. Human beings are capable of some pretty incredible things, even ones that were living a few thousand years ago. Oh, speaking of ancient Egypt, Cameron, did you hear about the new findings on the giant cylindrical objects found under the pyramids? I did not. No, I did not. Let me know more about those, Bong. I'd be very curious to know. On June 24th, four original Freemasonic lodges convened at the Goose and Gridiron Alehouse of London, culminating the establishment of the first Grand Lodge of England. Yes, so that is usually the start date that people assign to Freemasonry. I assign it to 1623 with oh my gosh, Rose Hall, I think it was, if I recall correctly. There was plenty of examples of speculative Masons that existed before the founding of the Grand Lodge. Also, news articles, 1800s in America with mummies and structures outdating ancient Egypt. Also, someone in America had the oldest DNA, Albert Perry. Well, I mean, I know that Egyptology and ancient Egypt was incredibly popular in not just in America, but in London, England in the Victorian era, going to ancient Egypt and liberating, if you want to call it, if you want to use that word. Stealing might be the more accurate word. Ancient Egyptian artifacts for their museums, obviously famously the London Museum having all sorts of Egyptian artifacts in it. So yeah, it's unfortunate. In some ways, it's unfortunate that you had those kind of robberies taking place, but in other ways, it was, we learned a lot about Egypt. But at the time, Egyptology was huge, as was Freemasonry, and so Egyptian ideas, kind of rituals, kind of developed that people based on ancient Egypt. They actually talk about that at the Field Museum in Chicago. Freemasonry gets some shout outs in the um I can't think of the in the ancient Egypt ancient Egypt I can't think of what it's called now, collection. There we go. In the meantime, I hope everybody is doing well. If you get the chance, please don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button. The Regius, I can never pronounce that right. Regius manuscript, let's call it that. Dates to well, it's part of the old charges, right? The old charges of the Masons' lodges were documents describing the duties of the members, to which part the charges every Mason had to swear. On a mission for this reason, every lodge has a copy of his charges. The oldest, the Regius poem, is unique in being set in verse. The rest, which shows over 100 survive, usually have a three-part construction. Followed by description of the 7 liberal arts: logic, grammar, rhetoric, arithmetic, geometry, which we're going to talk about in a second, music, and astronomy, which we're also going to talk about in a second, extolling geometry above all the others. Archaeologists have discovered huge spiral-shaped cylindrical structures stretching over 600 meters, about 2,000 feet straight down, said to be older than the pyramids. Doesn't shock me that you might find some stuff that's older than the pyramids. What about the Red Sea in California? The ancient Egyptians called their land Tamara. There's a map of Tamaricans in Florida. Well, I'm not an expert on ancient Egypt by any means. So I do not know what the Tamaricans are. Let me see if I can look that up quickly. I mean, for what it's worth, like I said, I'm not an expert on any of this stuff. It does strike me, though, I'm one of the people who generally believes that the first contact between, quote unquote, the old world and the new world is not Columbus. It was actually Vikings in Newfoundland, but the main first contact was Columbus in 1492 when he sailed the ocean blue. Tamari is an old word for Egypt, and T. Amuru derives from the ancient Sumerian god Amuru. Don't forget about Stonehenge in England. Well, Stonehenge is an example of early stonemasonry. It's funny, I've talked before about why I think it's important to study stonemasonry as a speculative mason. And when I say that, one thing I mean is not just ancient Egypt, which Freemasons tend to talk a lot about or study a lot about, or if we find a lot of discussions on it, but also to talk about other examples of stonemasonry, um, including but not limited to Stonehenge, Celtic or Druidic stonemasonry, as well as Mesoamerican stonemasonry, the Aztecs and the the Aztecs and the Incas, as well as even maybe Chinese stonemasonry. I think the more we explore other types of stonemasonry, the more fulfilling and full our Masonic careers will be, in my oh so humble opinion. And thank you, as always, everybody who's jumped on so far. Please take a moment, if you haven't done so yet, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I think we got time now, so let's see if we can jump on and start talking about our main topic, which is the Euclid space mission, which I've actually talked about. Oh, Red Squid X-Files is back. Welcome, Red Squid X-Files. Thank you for being back. Indigo Kid saying America's not the new world. Well, I mean, it's not the new world anymore. I think the new world as of today might be Mars or the moon or another planet, but it was the new world once upon a time. They are still researching it, and I haven't released any information further, unfortunately, yet, but I will be all over it when they do. That's awesome, Bong. I hope that you will share it with us on the stream when they do release information. Oh, he's saying America is the old world. Um, well, no, Europe would be, I mean, Europe would be the old world, America would be the new world. Although, again, even that is kind of not fair because obviously there were plenty of people here um, for centuries. I think 12,000 years ago is when humans crossed the Bering Sea, if I recall correctly, though I could be wrong. Um, I could be mistaken about that, but I think 12,000 years. So calling it the new world, I mean, it's not the new world. There was a world here. There was civilizations and people and all that stuff. And I mean, the Aztecs, the Incas, plenty of First Nations groups or indigenous peoples here throughout North America to keep in mind. But Red Squid, it's good to have you back. Thank you, as always, for being here. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like button, answer a poll question. In Canada, England is known as the old country. Well, certainly for you, a lot of old people there. All right, so I want to talk about the Euclid space mission today. The Euclid space mission's aim is to study geometry and evolution of the universe, focusing on dark energy and matter, which is very cool. It is actually what I'm going to do is share this screen to start here. Anybody have any thoughts and ideas as to why the name for this space mission would be Euclid, when Euclid is, this is a space mission that dates to the 2025 or launched 2023. Euclid, lived thousands of years ago in a whole other part of the world. Any thoughts as to why that might be named Euclid? But here I'm going to hit this share button. Let me know if you guys can see it. If it pops up on the screen for you guys, I'll give it a second so everybody can see it. I'm just going to get a few more things set up and ready for this discussion. Let me just, all right, here we go. Dun, 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 dun. I got one more thing I need to find. And hopefully, with all of this information, you'll be able to follow me on some of the other things. Going to talk about my YouTube channel as well as um, Medium account I have where I've done some amazing interviews. Here it is. All right. So, named after the ancient Greek mathematician Euclid, lived around 300 BC and is considered the father of geometry, which he is. Although the question is, why is the father of geometry having his name assigned to a spaceship or a spacecraft? And we're going to talk about why that is. So, first of all, let's start with the basics. So, the Euclid space mission, which is currently ongoing, exploring the dark universe. The ESA, European Space Agency's Euclid mission, is designed to explore the composition and evolution of the dark universe. The Space Telescope will create a great map of the large-scale structure of the universe across space and time by observing billions of galaxies out to 10 billion light years. Across more than a third of the sky, Euclid will explore how the universe has expanded and how structure has formed over cosmic history, revealing more about the role of gravity. I want to highlight that for 1 second, and the nature of dark energy and dark matter. The launch took place July 1st, 2023, from Cape Canaveral, Florida, with the SpaceX Falcon 9, destination Sun Earth. Lagrange point 1.5 million kilometers from Earth. I want to save this image because I may use it. Hopefully it's not copyrighted. All right. But then the question becomes, because of the focus on the mission, well, let's go over to, this is an interview I did with, so this is about space exploration. The Euclid space mission is a satellite studying space and gravity and the effects of gravity on the formation of galaxies and dark matter, named after the father of geometry. So the question then becomes, how is geometry and space or space exploration connected? How does one affect the other? So this is from a Medium interview that I completed with a scientist assigned to the Euclid space mission. Notice what they say here, which I think is really important. In what ways are geometry and space/space exploration connected? How does one affect the other? Geometry and space exploration are intertwined disciplines that rely on each other for navigation, design, mapping, understanding the universe's geometry, and predicting celestial phenomena. Geometry provides the mathematical framework for exploring and navigating onto the space. For instance, it plays a crucial role in calculating trajectories and orbits for spacecraft, as well as influencing their design and construction. As an observational cosmologist, I can mention that Einstein's theory of general relativity describes the gravitational interactions between celestial bodies in terms of the curvature of space and time. Concepts from different geometry are essential for understanding and applying general relativity to phenomena such as black holes, gravitational waves, and the expanding universe. I think using Euclid captures the mission's fundamental objectives, understanding the geometric structure, composition, and evolution of the universe. And I think Bucharest Red is right, as is Bong, James. It goes to show, right, when we talk about in Freemasonry why geometry is important, we apply it to a moral understanding of ourselves. But meanwhile, you have this idea of geometry as being important to understanding the entire universe. as is discussed here in this interview that I did. The Euclid mission is a medium-class mission of the European Space Agency with a duration of 6 years. It was successfully launched on July 1st, 2023 from Cape Canaveral. I was there and it was truly amazing. Euclid is currently positioned approximately 930,000 miles from Earth in the direction opposite the sun. In technical terms, at the Lagrange point 2, and it has started to observe the sky. During its duration, Euclid will map approximately 33% of the entire sky with the aim of understanding the expansion of the universe. Its primary goal is to unravel the nature of the main components of our universe, dark energy and dark matter, about 1 billion galaxies. In what ways is a Euclid mission connected to the ideas related to geometry? The Euclid mission is named after the ancient Greek mathematician Euclid of Alexandria, who pioneered the field of geometry. The mission's name reflects the connection between the density of matter and energy and the geometric structure of the universe. I understand in November 2023, the Euclid space mission released its first images showcasing crystal clear views of hundreds of thousands of galaxies, star clusters, and other stunning objects. What can you tell us about these images, and what was it like for yourself as someone who's working on the Euclid project to see those images? Yes, in November of 2023, Euclid released 5 images showcasing its potential and capability. Euclid observed, well, not as much info as others would think. Didn't have, obviously, satellites going up into space. However, certainly it gave a foundation for the information we have today, or for our knowledge today. In November 2023, Euclid released 5 images showcasing its potential and capability. Euclid observed the Perseus cluster of galaxies, revealing 1,000 galaxies belonging to this cluster and more than 100,000 additional galaxies further away in the background. Many of these faint galaxies were previously unseen. It was the first time such a large image allowed us to capture so many Perseus galaxies in such high detail. The second image was IC 342, which is best known as the hidden galaxy because it lies behind thick Milky Way dust. However, with its infrared eye, Euclid has already uncovered crucial information about the stars in that galaxy. Irregular and small galaxies are the building blocks for larger galaxies. Irregular and small galaxies are the building blocks for larger galaxies like our own. We're going to talk about the current status in a second, Courtney. It's still up there, though. Hence, the regulatory galaxy NGC 6822, the third image, is a valuable target for studying the formation and evolution of galaxies. Seeing these images, I'm going to go down here, was not only inspiring, but also served as validation for the extensive efforts put into planning, designing, and constructing the mission's instruments and spacecraft over the years. Witnessing the tangible results of the collective labor of many people through these vivid views of cosmic objects has been profoundly gratifying. It fuels our enthusiasm and eagerness to explore further, pushing the limits of our understanding of the universe's mysteries. What is next for the Euclid space mission? As I said, Euclid has already begun surveying the sky, a patch covering 130 square degrees, which is more than 500 times the area of the full moon. The data collected in this first year will be released to the community in summer 2026. A smaller data release, I want to keep this in mind here, a smaller data release of a particular patch of sky observed for extended periods, known as deep field observations, is planned for spring 2025. This smaller data release has, in fact, been released, and we're going to look through that in a second. So that is the current status of it. In the journey of complex missions like Euclid, challenges arise. Euclid's fine guidance sensor, crucial for getting sharp images, was intermittently hit by cosmic rays and solar protons. Software updates resolved the issue, but extended the commissioning phase, delaying the performance verification phase. During the performance verification phase, we discovered Small amount of light was being reflected repeatedly on the spacecraft surfaces. This produced stray light that impacted the visible light detector, disturbing Euclid's capability to observe very faint galaxies. Rotating the spacecraft by 2.5 degrees eliminated this issue. It's important to note that these challenges are part of the commissioning period where every potential issue is scrutinized by experts and solved to ensure minimal impact of the mission's objectives. Despite these setbacks, Euclid remained focused on capturing breathtaking and scientifically significant images, which I consider a huge success. Yeah, I mean, if you say investing in Bitcoin meaning having big returns, I agree with that 100%, Red Squid. I also think it's going to have big returns. So I would agree with that all the way. I think investing, sometimes you invest for, a few days, sometimes you invest for a few months, sometimes you invest for a few years. Sometimes humanity can invest for centuries, such as with the study of the stars. So we're going to go through what are these images that it's discovered so far. And for that, I left something on my Twitter machine, X machine, which let's see if I can check it out. Which, by the way, if you're not following me on social media, you can follow me on Twitter at Cameron ADAMSO16. But let's see, where'd I leave it? Here it is. Euclid Space Telescope captures multiple extremely rare double gravitational lenses. All right, we're going to share this tab in just 1 second. So when Freemasons have, since its foundation, since the old charges, since the Regius manuscript, talked about the importance and the value of geometry, it means, geometry to ourselves in a moral sense, as well as the geometry that allows us to understand the universe. Well, everything's connected. I truly believe that. Somebody, an author I really liked, a guy called Chuck Klosterman, talked about this idea of everything being connected. I do believe in connections between things. I don't think that means necessarily I'd follow it in the sense of connections as it relates to like the spiritual side of things, but I do truly believe that everything does connect to each other. You just have to be willing to look for those connections. Euclid Space Telescope captures multiple extremely rare double gravitational lenses. New images from Europe's Dark Universe Telescope offers fresh clues about the universe. The European Space Agency has released the first major batch of data from its Dark Universe Telescope, which was right on time. What's inside could change our understanding of dark matter and the expansion of the universe. The data comprises just 1 week's worth of deep field images from 3 points in space, make up just 0.4% of the vast area Euclid will capture, which scientists say will be the largest 3D map of the sky ever created. With 1 scan of each region so far, Euclid has already spotted 26 million galaxies, each potentially containing millions of stars and billions of planets. The furthest of these galaxies are 10.5 billion light years away from Earth, meaning the images you see are almost as old as the universe itself. The Euclid map of the stars. So I guess this is the Cat's Eye Nebula. As someone who loves cats, I like that name. What is the nature of dark energy? I don't think anybody knows for sure, Courtney. I think it's still a mystery. I understand dark energy is what is causing the expansion of the universe, but what precisely it is, I still think people don't know. Well, so I don't know a ton about this topic. I mean, I kind of know about the Euclid Space Mission because I've done interviews about it and researched it. To my understanding, black holes are a point where gravity becomes so dense that light cannot escape. Basically, it's the curvature, it's the gravity, right? Because black holes are another example of geometry in that it's the curvature of space-time. I think there's a black hole in the center of a galaxy, if I recall correctly. Hidden amongst all these moons of galaxies are rare phenomena called gravitational lenses or Einstein rings, named as such because they prove Albert Einstein's prediction of gravity warps space-time, otherwise known as a geometric idea, warping or curving geometry, causing light to bend as it travels through. Gravitational lensing occurs when a massive object, like a galaxy or black hole, bends the light from the galaxy behind it, forming a visible distortion or arcs across the galaxy's nucleus. In this new batch of data, Euclid has more than doubled the number of gravitational lenses that have been captured from space. ESA estimates that Euclid will capture 100,000 strong gravitational lenses by the end of its 6-year mission, around 100 times more than currently known. Today's data has also revealed an ever rare phenomenon, double gravitational lensing, also called double source plane lensing. This happens when light from two distant galaxies passes through the same galaxy, causing a double lensing effect. So this is a collage of gravitational lenses from Euclid's first major data drop, which happened on time. I'm not a believer in the Big Bang, so I don't believe the universe is expanding. Well, I mean, I think the universe is expanding, Bong. I think that's pretty much standard scientific understanding related to things like the redshift. The Big Bang is a theory. I'm sure there are other possible theories as to the nature of the universe or the origins of the universe. I think a lot of people now actually kind of have a more universal understanding. So this idea that there's many big bangs that occur throughout the universe and creates basically multiverses. But that would be a whole other discussion. Look at the image above and go to the fourth column, third from the bottom. Okay, so let's see. Fourth column, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Third from the bottom. So that'd be this one, right? So let's try it this way. 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth column. Third from the bottom. 1, 2, 3. The image is faint, but you can make out two outer arcs and then 2 inner arcs close to the center of the galaxy nucleus. That's a double gravitational lens. So I think you can kind of see it there. This one here. If that's the right one I'm looking at. Double gravitational lensing could help scientists better understand dark energy and the expansion of the universe because, in theory, an expanding universe will determine the angle of the arcs. Double source plane lenses are extremely rare. Only a few have ever been found, says Euclid Consortium scientist Mike Walmsley at the press briefing. But we think we've found 4 good candidates already from just a week's worth of data covering a fraction of the night sky. We're confident that Euclid will quickly capture enough of them to allow scientists to start measuring their effects. To find such rare phenomena hiding amongst Euclid images, the Euclid European Space Agency enlisted the help of thousands of volunteers and AI algorithms. Launched in 2023, Euclid has observed about 14% of its total survey area so far. By the time its mission is complete, the telescope is expected to capture images of more than 1.5 billion galaxies, sending back around 100 gigabytes of data every day. These images provide scientists with unprecedented opportunities and huge problems when it comes to finding, categorizing, and analyzing all the objects with them. To speed up the process, the Euclid Consortium has developed an AI-powered galaxy spotter called Zubot. The algorithm was trained on decades worth of citizen science work from volunteers who scan through images and identify each object. I was one of these volunteers, actually. I was one of the volunteers who did that once upon a time. It's all speculative because we are limited by our own technology in terms of how far back we can see and how wide we can see. That is true. We are limited on both of those things, but I do enjoy hearing all the theories. Red Squid X-Files, learn about white space. I will check it out and see what I can find. I've never heard of white space before. So this is a collage of galaxies identified by AI and citizen scientists. I took part in this actually once upon a time, the Zubot algorithm. From today's data drop, Zubot put together a detailed catalog of 360,000 galaxies. Thousands of volunteers from the Space Warp Citizen Science Project then sorted through the most promising candidates. That's how gravitational lenses were identified. So this is a collage of Euclid deep field south, a portion of the night sky never previously captured in such detail. It's the space beyond the dark we see in the night sky. Like, do you mean with the human eye, or does that include how far back we can see with telescopes? Because obviously with the telescope, we can see much further. Obviously, the furthest we could see back is 14 billion years, something like that. Something to that effect, if I recall correctly. By the way, I hope everybody's having a great time here on the stream, learning about the Euclid space mission, why it was named Euclid, the important role that geometry plays in understanding the universe and space exploration, and what the Euclid Consortium is doing. We talked even about why Euclid is named, why the Euclid space mission is named after the father of geometry. And the reason why this is important Masonically is if you go back to our history as Freemasons, the earliest example of, the Regius manuscripts, there is a discussion, or the old charges should say, geometry is considered to be of critical importance to Freemasons and Freemasonry, and what that means. Euclid's mission is to shed light on two of the universe's most perplexing mysteries, dark energy and dark matter. Thought to make up 95% of the cosmos, scientists theorize that dark energy is responsible for accelerating the universe's expansion and that dark matter acts as a cosmic glue that holds galaxies together, yet the nature of these components is still unknown. To build its 3D map of the night sky, the telescope is deploying two high-tech cameras, VIS, which captures the cosmos in visible light, and NISP, which measures the distances to galaxies and the expansion speed of the universe. Euclid is said to provide us with an unprecedented chronology of the history of the cosmos and help us unravel the mysteries of the universe and our own existence. The 3 deep field previews can now be explored in the ESA Sky app. Euclid Deep Field South here, Euclid Deep Field Fornax here. So let's try. Jumping over here, we're going to share this tab in just 1 second. So if you've ever wondered as Freemasons why you should study geometry, all right, so let's go over here. Let's check this one out in just 1 second. Let me see. This is ESA Sky. Let me know if you guys can see this. I'm going to end this poll and ask this question. Going to give it 5 minutes for you guys to answer this. See how this goes. Hold on just 1 second. Should I pick science or explorer? All right. Which of these two do you think I should pick for the ESA Sky app? I'll give it a couple minutes for people to vote. And if nobody votes, then I'm going to go with probably Explorer myself. But I want to give it a chance to see what you guys pick. Assuming you guys can see this, let me know if you can or if you can't. But what mode should I choose? Oh, we got one vote, looks like, for science so far. Let's give it, like I said, another couple minutes. In the meantime, as always, please take a moment to hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for joining. Jump in the chat, say hello. If you're new to the stream, jump in the chat, say hello. Oh, geez, we got 2 votes. I might have to be a tiebreaker soon if we don't get more people voting. Should I pick science or explorer mode? 1 vote for science, 1 vote for explorer. So this is interesting. I'm going to give it a bit more time because I got to see if anybody else joins us. Tiebreaker, for heaven's sakes. Not that I mind being a tiebreaker. I just think perhaps there are others who could be. You should leave it, vox populi, vox deus, as they say. Gonna give it a little bit more time. We only got 2 votes. I picked science, but I think exploration and science are the same purpose, that being discovery. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think both do have similar goals and similar purposes, that being discovery. I'm assuming science may be more technical in like what you see, but Dad says he's on the fence. But Dad, you got to pick one because if you don't pick one, I'm going to become the tiebreaker. And I'd rather let the people decide. Let's give it another couple minutes. Let's go with, we still have 50-50, but there are at least 6 people watching right now. So if you haven't voted yet, we're checking out the Euclid Space Missions ESA Sky. ESA Sky is an application that allows you to visualize and download public astronomical data. We're going to be looking for the Euclid space mission in particular. Just want to know which mode I should pick, science or explorer. We have 2 votes so far, 1 for science, 1 for explorer. Let's give it another few minutes. Let's give it another 1 minute. So you have 1 more minute to pick your vote before I get to do a tiebreaker. So. And next week, in case anybody's curious, I am going to be having some interesting, some live streams. It's going to be different times because I'm going to be very busy traveling, being back home. So I am going to be away. So it might not always be 1 p.m. Eastern, but once I know the times, I will for sure let everybody else know. So follow me on social media. All right. So, oh, go to your son's baseball game. That is awesome. I hope that you enjoy the baseball game. I hope he wins. All right. So, Dad is saying explore. So we have got 2 for explore, 1 for science. So I guess we're going to go with explore. All right. So let's see. We're going to go up here, explore outreach images from Euclid. So let's try Abel 2764 galaxy cluster. This image is released as part of the early release observation from ESA's Euclid space mission. All data from these initial observations are made public May 23rd, 2024. Oops, I'm going to put this over here. Let's see, image opacity. See what happens when you bring it over this way. Let's see. Let me know if you guys are seeing this well. I think it's very, very cool. This complete view of Abel 2764 and surroundings, obtained thanks to Euclid's impressive field of view, allows scientists to ascertain the radius of the cluster and study the outskirts with faraway galaxies still in frame. Euclid's observations of Abel 2764, as with Abel 2390, are also allowing scientists to witness some of the most distant galaxies that lived in a mysterious period known as the cosmic dark ages. Euclid enables us to see these galaxies back when the universe was only 700 million years old, just 5% of its current age. Viewing their light is a specialty of Euclid and allows us to witness how the first galaxies formed. Let's check out Perseus Galaxy Cluster. The Perseus Galaxy Cluster is one of the most massive structures known to the universe, located 240 million light years away from Earth, containing thousands of galaxies immersed in a vast cloud of hot gas. Astronomers demonstrate that galaxy clusters like Perseus can have formed if dark matter is present in the universe. This image shows 1,000 galaxies belonging to the Perseus cluster and more than 100,000 additional galaxies further away in the background. I think that when you reduce the opacity, you can kind of see things a little bit clearer. Let me know if you guys are still able to see these. Jump in the chat, say hello, by the way. Let me know how it's going, what you think of these images. Once again, talking about Euclid space mission, why it's called Euclid, and the important role geometry plays in understanding the universe. This is Euclid's deep field phonax. After one observation, the Space Telescope already spotted 4.5 million galaxies. In this field, in the coming years, Euclid will make 52 observations to this field to reach its full depth. How cool is it to be able to explore the universe with this very awesome ESA app? Let me know if there's any one of these that you guys want to check out or see. This is really kind of pretty. This image was released as part of the early release observations from ESA's Euclid space mission. All data from these initial observations are made public on 23rd of May, 2024. Playing with the opacity of it. If you've ever checked out any of these images, by all means, maybe leave a link or put something on social media. I'll be sharing some of these on my social media channels soon, some of these screenshots. It's called Euclid. Who came up with the name? I don't know who came up with the name, but the reason it's called Euclid, let's see if I can go back to, I wrote just 1 second, actually. If I can track this thing down. Da, 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 da. Here it is. The Euclid mission is named after the ancient Greek mathematician Euclid of Alexandria, who pioneered the field of geometry. The mission's name reflects the connection between the density of matter and energy and the geometric structure of the universe. So that is where they came up with the name. How much fun is it to just be able to, like, think of the technology that goes into the ability to actually, like, explore pictures of the universe in this way? It's pretty incredible. Kind of reminds you of how lucky we are to be alive in 2025, even though there's all sorts of problems that exist in 2025. The fact that we get to see some really incredible things like this and share these images, that's pretty special. So I think it's worth celebrating. Welcome. If you're just joining us, please take a moment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know how it's going, and as always, what it is that you guys want to chat about. We were talking today about the Euclid space mission. The reason being, there was just a huge release of Euclid space mission data released on March 19th, and also, based on the name Euclid, you can tell that there is significant connections between space exploration and geometry. Freemasons should care about geometry, hence this study. And part of that is, again, in this case, exploring the ESA Sky app, which everybody can check out. And you can basically, you're exploring the universe using ESA data image. And we are here. This is the images from Euclid. They also have images from the James Webb Telescope, Hubble Space Telescope, Explore a Random Target, Manage Skies. But we are here for the Euclid, although we've also actually done stories about the James Webb Telescope. So that's pretty cool as well. At approximately, this is actually a really pretty one. At approximately 1,375 light years away, the Horsehead Nebula in the constellation Orion is visible as a dark cloud shape like a horse's head. It's the closest giant star forming region to Earth. It sits just to the south of the star Alnitic, the easternmost of Orion's famous three-star belt, and it's part of the vast Orion molecular cloud. I'm going to share this thing as well, or at least download this one, and maybe you can find it on my social media. I have to leave now. Goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, Dad. Thank you, as always, for joining. Truly appreciated. Interesting enough, I can actually turn on science mode here. So let's try turning on science mode. We've got to vote for that and see what we get with that. I'm wondering, let's try this one. Spectral and light curves. Okay, let's try Herschel, JWST, because I have no idea what this actually does. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just hanging out and having a fun time because I love stuff like this. So let me know if you guys can see it. If you understand it, by all means, let me know, because I'm sure I'm getting a lot of this stuff mixed up. Let me know if it's coming through for you guys well. Let's try previewing this one. If anybody knows what I'm looking at, by all means, please let me know. Let's see. Oops, we're going to cancel this because this is way too big. Catalogs. Let's try this one. I can see it. I turned science mode on because science mode has got, of the 4 votes, Explorer got 1, science got 3. So I have science mode on. You can see it up here. Unfortunately, I'm not a scientist and very not smart, so I have no clue what I'm looking at, other than I'm having a lot of fun doing it right now. You can click on one of these. I'm guessing these are stars. Interesting. So RA. That's a pretty picture. Actually, I want to kind of share that. I think that's really pretty looking. You know, it's interesting because they said that this was the 3rd star of Orion's belt. I'm going to share this. And that's interesting because a few years ago, feels like forever ago, to be honest, I spent 3 weeks in Glenview, Illinois. Loved it there. Glenview, Illinois is incredible. And I was doing stand-up comedy at the time, and every night, basically. So every day I would wake up, go to the library, sit at the fire, read. Then I'd catch a train, go to a bar, do stand-up comedy. And then, you know, the stand-up open mic would finish around whatever time. And I'd catch the 12:20 a.m. or no, 12:40 a.m. train from Union Station, Chicago, back to Glenview, and then I'd wheel from the Glenview train station, the metro station, to my hotel. I was staying at the Motel 6, which was about a 45-minute wheel. And every night I'd wheel and look up and I'd see Orion in the sky. Remember, it was like January, so it was chilly, but the sky was really clear. And I started to think of Orion as like an old friend in the sky that I would always see, or maybe a new friend, or at least a friend in the sky that I would always see. So I grew to love. I grew to love um, seeing Orion, and I view it as a friend. And still to this day, if I'm ever outside at night and I look up and I see Orion in the night sky, I kind of think of it as an old friend, um, more so than anything else. It's nice to see it. And if I can't see it because it's a cloudy night or it's not the right season or whatever it is, I still know it's at least out there. And so it's nice to think, even if I can't see it, I still have the friend there. I hope everybody is doing well. By the way, once again, please, if you're just joining us, hit that like and subscribe button. Different pictures taken, giving you the option of viewing a different light spectrum. That's what I think it is too, Bong James. That is my assumption until I hear otherwise. That's what I'm going with anyways. Let's try International Ultraviolet Explorer. Let's try this one here. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know what this means at all, but it looks very cool. Can I? Oh, we can't take a screenshot of that. I mean, we can download it though. All right, we downloaded this one at least. Gravitational waves. All right, so gravitational waves. I think we're getting somewhere here when it comes to, if nothing else, the importance of gravity and geometry, because a gravitational wave could be an example of a geometric, what's the word I'm looking for? Phenomena? Geometry and phenomena. All right. And if you're just joining us, by the way, please take a moment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know how you're doing, what's happening, and what it is you want to talk about. So let's see. I'm going to try clicking on this one. All right. I have no idea what this is either, but it looks really cool. Can I take a screenshot of this? Geometry and space, geometry and gravity are connected. If you want to do this with me, if you type in ESA Sky or sky.esa.int into Google, you should be able to find it and check it out and kind of explore with me. This is very much a lot of fun. Like I said, I don't pretend to know what I'm doing because I don't. Wait, what is this? Okay, that is really cool. I'm downloading this one as well. I have no idea which one of these is going to become the new thumbnail, but one of these will be. Let's try another poll question while I just hang out and wait. All righty. Observations planning tool. No, I'm not going to that. Let's try image observations. Oh, Euclid. All right, here's the Euclid once again. Euclid mosaics, near infrared, Euclid consortium. That is what we wanted to talk about today. Let's try what this guy. Loading Euclid Science Archive. Let's check out this tab. Visualize. Oh no, this is the ESA Sky again. Dun, dun, dun. Welcome. If you're just joining us, by the way, please hit that like and subscribe button. Oh, we've gone. Should Freemasons study geometry? One yes, one no. Thank you to the people who are picking yes, and thank you to the people who are no. If you want to provide an explanation as to why you picked yes or no, I'd love to know. I'm going to go back off of science mode for a second, just so we can go back to explore outreaches from Euclid. Let's go with one we haven't looked at yet, maybe. Messier 7. Let's see. I want to get a better shot of this guy. This image is released as this breathtaking image features Messier 78, the central and brightest region, a vibrant nursery of star formation enveloped in a shroud of interstellar dust. This image is unprecedented. How very cool is it to see? Good way to put it. You can't have sacred geometry without geometry. I agree with that 100%. I think that's a really good way to put it. So I agree with that. Let's X this off for 1 second. ESA virtual assistant. Type your message. Feel free to ask me anything about ESA Sky. I would like to learn more about the Euclid space mission. See what we get. I don't have answer to this question. Please try to ask in a different way. Let's try this way. Euclid space mission. I'm just curious to see. I know you can search it through this, but I'm curious if there's anything else that pops up. Not found. All right, got to go back here. ESA Euclid outreach images. This is kind of fun, just exploring the galaxy. The fact we get to do this is pretty incredible. It's pretty beautiful. Also makes us realize, how unimportant most of our problems actually are. I have a math phobia. I don't blame. I have a math phobia too. I hate math. I feel like I love concepts, but I hate math, if that makes any sense. So I can conceptualize things, but when you actually ask me to add and subtract and all that jazz, it doesn't go well. I have a math phobia, so Spirit, don't worry, I don't blame you. But let me know what you think of this stuff. How, if you're enjoying this stream, if you're enjoying these images, I personally think they're beautiful. I could spend hours just traversing through this stuff. And this is a really cool. I wonder if there's possible to like zoom in. Looks like you can't zoom in. Or I wonder if you can through the box tool. Let's see. I love it when you see these bright stars. I wonder if I can get a closer look at them. Try this one more time. Well, I'm still going to take another screenshot of this as well. You will find some of these screenshots shared very soon on my social media, including my Instagram. So I feel the understanding of our universe is a never-ending study of who we are and where we came from. I agree with that 100%. Hopefully it never ends. I think I'd be pretty sad if we were to get to a point in life where it did end. I would never want to get to a point where there's nothing more to learn. I think there's something really beautiful about always trying to learn something new, about the universe. No worries, typos happen. It's part of it. So it's no worries at all. I just appreciate you taking the time to type in typos or not. We are here at 20 or at we've done this for a couple hours, and it's been great seeing everybody joining the stream. Interesting. Should Freemasons study geometry? Looks like 2 no's, 1 yeses. Well, it's kind of comparable to someone taking a picture of a horse's leg extremely close while it's running away from us. Good way to put it, in the sense that you're not going to get the best view. You're not going to get the best view or the best understanding of it if the image is close. But hopefully you can at least learn some things or try to learn some things. I mean, keep your fingers crossed. As much as anything else, it might be possible. We have such a limited understanding of technology due to our reach. Absolutely. But again, I think the key is just recognizing our limitations. If you can recognize those limitations, then I think you're still in a pretty good place. The danger is when you become too confident that you feel like you can't ever, learn something new or there's nothing more to learn. That's true of Freemasonry as well as everything else in life, right? I love all these different images of the bright stars over here and stuff. I think it's absolutely beautiful and worth exploring more. Now, obviously, we're at that part of the stream where it's just ask us anything and chat about anything. The first hour of these streams is wait for people to join, general discussion. Then the second hour is the actual topic, today's topic being the Euclid space mission. And then the third topic is back to just hanging out and chatting about anything we want. So anything you want to jump in the chat, please, by all means. I will do my best to answer. I can't make any promises, but I'll try my best to answer as much as I can. This is really cool. Again, another really pretty image of a star. Let's download this. Don't forget to follow me on social media. All these screenshots I'm taking, I'm going to be sharing on my socials. I'm on a bunch of different socials. It actually just came on Red Note not that long ago. I've been really happy to see the way that my blue sky is growing. I agree. I love it when you see these bright stars here. You know what? I've also talked a lot about not just the Euclid space mission, but I've also done interviews about the James Webb telescope, which is this one here. So let's check out some of these ESA web outreach images. Outside field of view, 2,267 images. Let's see if we can find any interesting Masonic sounding things. New view of the pillars of creation. This is worth sharing. Wonder what will make it look better. Oh, you got to put it this way. Oops. No. The eagle has risen. See if I can share this guy. No, it's not sharing for some reason. All right, that's okay. Eagle Nebula, stars. That's really pretty. I'm going to be in the north later tonight. Very cool. I hope that you have a great meeting spirit. I hope you'll tell your lodge I say hello and I wish them a awesome and a most successful meeting, as I do with every Masonic lodge that's out there. I hope that they do well. So enjoy it. I hope that it goes well. This screenshot's okay. There we go. I'm not sure to what you're referring to by the north is usually just means like sitting on the sidelines or sitting in the crowd, right? East Worship Master, West Senior Warden, South Junior Warden, North. Sometimes North is the chaplain. Actually, oftentimes in lodges in Ontario, the chaplain sits in the north. Which is kind of a cool little fact that a lot of people know. Doesn't have to. Secretary also sits usually in the north, kind of by default, right? Because he's at the right hand of the worshipful master, and that usually works out to being the north if the master's in the east. Oh, well, I'm with the EAs. Okay, I get it. Yeah, EAs usually sit in the north. Again, it's not a rule all the time, as a lot of Masons think, but as a general rule, the EAs will sit to the right of the worshipful master, which is also in the north, kind of by default, since the master's in the east, facing west. So yeah, that makes sense. Took me a second to figure out. So yeah, that is awesome. I hope that you have a great meeting. I'm sure that you will. And as I said, please pass on my hello to your lodge. I hope that you enjoy it and it goes well. Always remember how lucky you are to take part in some of these meetings and stuff and enjoy them. Why do anything if you don't love it, Just here exploring the galaxy, which has been a lot of fun. Tomorrow, I'm going to be traveling back to Winnipeg. Like I was saying, tomorrow I will be traveling. So my live stream schedule is going to be different. As I know what it is, I will let you guys know what it is. There might be some more midnight live streams even. Who knows? Tomorrow, so Saturday midnight, I usually do a live stream where I do a movie watch along, usually a horror movie. I may do that again this year or this weekend, excuse me. But I'm hesitant because I will be traveling. But if I do end up doing the travels, I will let you know for sure. Or doing the live streams, I should say, I'll let you know for sure. Just make sure to follow us along and follow me on my different social media platforms. And right now, I am just having a good time on the ESA Sky app, exploring the universe. Exploring a universe that I have no idea what I'm actually looking at. I'm not nearly smart enough. It's just fun. And I think it's awesome to see what technology allows us to do. Oh my gosh, look at that. All right, that's cool. Check out these stars. I'm assuming they're stars or suns. Plus, Fridays tend to be more Ask Us Anything type of streams where we just hang out and talk about whatever we want, which is one of my favorite things to do. Favorite type of streams. All right, but let's give it another, let's say, oh, Douglas Marks. Hey, everyone, geometry in some cases can be seen as God. I get what you're saying there, but there's some truth to that. We talked about Douglas. I'm not sure how long you've been on the stream for, but we talked about why the Euclid space mission, we're just exploring some images from it, was named after Euclid, the father of geometry. And it turns out there are many connections between geometry and our understanding of the universe, which is why NASA scientists and European Space Agency scientists, when creating the Euclid space mission, named it after the father of geometry. Well, I'm happy that you just got here, though, Douglas. I hope that you are doing well. Please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button. I think you're already subscribed, but hit that like button. And yeah, we spent the last hour or so studying the history, purpose, goals of the Euclid space mission. Now we're at ESA Sky, which is an app where you can explore images of the universe, including images made by the Euclid space mission. That's this tab here. Explore images from outreach images from Euclid. So I hope that you will, if you get the chance, let me know how you're doing, what's happening, and what are your plans for the weekend. You can also explore images from the James Webb Telescope, which we've also talked about a lot on the stream. So I do very much, though, love space. The thing I love about space is it's fascinating in a lot of different ways. I love the idea of exploring, though, exploration, and how something so much bigger than ourselves can unite ourselves, or unite something so much bigger than humanity can unite humanity. At least you would hope so. Doesn't always seem to work, though. Just going to read some Sherlock Holmes and go to Miami Beach. Nothing is wrong with both of those things. So that is awesome. I hope that you enjoy Miami Beach. I hope that you enjoy reading Sherlock Holmes. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle himself was a Freemason. Actually, I learned a little bit about him. He and Harry Houdini were both Freemasons, but they had a big falling out at the end of their lives and never managed to reconcile, even though they were both brothers and both Freemasons and both very famous in their own ways. Check out this. It's very, very cool. Again, beautiful stars. Interesting to see the different colors and the way they show up, with different colors. All right, I took a bunch of screenshots of all this stuff. This is kind of a nice pic. Maybe this will be my last screenshot. You're going to see a lot of these screenshots, though, on my social media, so make sure you check those out. I'm going to try to post a lot of this social media stuff on YouTube, or sorry, on my different streams or on my different social media channels. You can also check out the Euclid Science Archive. Yeah, I would assume distance, because if it's closer, the red shift versus blue shift, and then elements. Do you think David Copperfield? I never heard. I don't, so I have no idea whether he was a Mason or not. I don't think so, but I don't know. Let me see. David Copperfield, Freemason. Maybe at Ye Old. So there's lodge called Ye Old Cup and Ball Lodge in California. It's a 18-member lodge. David Benitez, Ralph Shelton II, Brandon Gruber, Sean Fernand, Rob Pepple, but no indication that David Copperfield was ever a Freemason. But it's cool they got to check out the magic show. I'm sure that it was pretty incredible. Welcome to the Euclid Science Archive. Euclid is an ESA mission to map the geometry of the dark universe, discover the origin of the accelerated expansion of the universe, discover the nature of 95% of the universe, dark energy, dark matter, measure shapes of galaxies and their distortions due to dark matter acting as a lens, measure the clustering of galaxies resulting in the action of galaxy. Yeah, I figured shows. For one second, I thought you maybe had a special pair of shoes that he like donated to a museum or something, but shows makes a lot more sense. So very, very cool. Maybe one day I'll be lucky enough to check him out. All right. Well, this has been a very fun stream, but I do have to at some point leave because I still have to get ready for my trip tonight. So thank you guys so much for being here. I truly appreciate it. As always, please take a moment before you leave to hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know, how you guys are doing in the chat and the comment section. I'll be back on Monday. I just don't know the time yet, but once I know the time, I will let you guys know. All right. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day and bye for now. Thank you, Bong. Much love to you as well.